I didn't really plan to be here, but here we are. By the time we're done here, we will set up a router on a stick to allow inter-VLAN traffic to pass. Hi again. I know you probably had to go start a whole nother video on the site, but I just stood here and I'm like, I'm ready. So let's get. I didn't even change the slide. I didn't change anything. So here's what I want to do. So I don't know if I can erase all this. Oh, I can. Just grab my eraser. So we've got. I'm just going to town on erasing stuff. Here's what I want to do to set up routing in Nevada, right? So we've got these VLANs set up, but remember, the subnets aren't there. We've just the VLANs. Oh, can I make sure you guys get this? Hang on. VLANs, layer 2 technology. Layer 2, like switching, like and I know you're kind of like, well, yeah, duh. Well, when I'm saying a VLAN equals a subnet, that is true, but a subnet is layer 3, right? So the VLANs are separating things at layer 2. They're in separate things, and I really want you guys to catch this. It's like having separate switches, snap, 2 separate switches, right? And then the layer 3, the IP addressing, is what gives us the ability to tie it together. Like you can't get VLAN 10 to talk to VLAN 20 unless you move up a layer at layer 3 and put that router in place. And that's kind of what I want to do. Check this out. So we've got this Nevada router. It's got the interface plugged into the switch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that Nevada router, NV, right? So we're going to take that fast Ethernet, F0/0, and I'm going to remove. There will be no IP address on fast Ethernet 0/0. And it's like, what? It's because I'm going to create sub-interface. This is how I draw them. That's just my thing. Fast Ethernet 0/0.10. And we're going to give it, that'll be the default gateway, 10.16.8.1, right? /24. That'll be the default gateway for VLAN 10. And then right there, Fast Ethernet 0/0.20 will be the default gateway for 10.16.10.1. Hang on, make sure I'm getting it right, because we got VLAN 20. Now, I know we're just doing computers. We're moving computers, right? It's not voice over IP. It's just a name. So we can put whatever we want into it. So here's my thought. We got the router, right? 2 sub interfaces. We're going to put my computer in VLAN 10, set its default gateway up to where it's able to, so it knows, hey, this router is my path out. And then we'll have VLAN 20. So over here, I'll put the Apple computer in there, set its default gateway up to where it's going through the router. Yeah? You follow me? And so at that point, they should then be able to communicate. Let's see if we can make it happen. So first thing I'm going to do, because I'm going to forget to do this otherwise, I'm going to go back to our control panel, because this is the, I'll just keep that. I was going to rename the interface, but we'll just keep it right there. So we set up in the previous video an IP address, 10.16.8.51, subnet mask, yeah, we're good, but we didn't give it a default gateway, 10.16.8.1. Now, it doesn't exist yet. That's not, we haven't configured that, but that will be what exists, right? So I'm just going to hit OK, and we don't need DNS. We would need DNS if we were doing things by name. If I was like, hey, let's ping www.mylaptopoverthere.com. That's where DNS would come in, but we're just pinging by IP address, so we're safe to go without DNS. Oh, yeah, it's just saying, warning, you got multiple default gateways. So that worthy note, because you're going to run into this in your lab as well. What I've got going on is if I do an IP config on my computer, this guy right now is connected to, the Cisco lab. Up here, this is connected to my home network. And if I keep both, the computer's like, which one do I use? I've got one that's saying there's my default gateway over there, and I've got one that goes to the internet over here. I'm not going to know which one to do. And that's what this message is saying. It's like, hey, you know what's up? This is going to be bad. This could be disjointed. Are you sure you want to do this? I'll hit yes. I'm going to do this. But I'm going to have to kill my internet connection, which is right there. I'm just saying it is very bad things going to happen when I do this. I don't think so. Let's hit disable on that guy. Bam. There we go. So now all I've got is my one path. I'll do the IP config again. And I want you guys to know that for your home lab, because when you're trying this at your house, you'll get really weird stuff if you're trying to surf the net. So this is your, you'll be able to focus, right? No more YouTube. So Wait a sec, no more me. What am I saying? So we'll minimize that. You'll watch me on a laptop, right? So that's good. So while I'm thinking clients, let's head on over to the Apple computer, and I'm gonna go. He's still pinging away. Life is good for him. So I'm gonna bring back my my configuration screen here. Does that help at all? I don't know if you can. Does that help? There we go. Maybe a little bit. So all I'm doing is I'm going to go here and give him 10.16. I'll give him 10.50, and I'll put a default gateway of 10.16.10.1 in there, which will be the router that I'm going to configure. That's what I just showed you on the slide just a moment ago, right? Hit apply, and I'm also, so right now I've got, you can see Wi-Fi is connected, and I'm going to hit this little button that says turn Wi-Fi off, or else I'm going to end up with the same issue. So there we go. We've got that guy. So he's good. So pings should, yeah, we're all dead now. So I'm going to take this like that. And we're going to move. Okay. So I'm going to move my computer. Might as well just bounce it right over here to port number 2. So it's now in VLAN 10. The Apple computers are still on port 5. That's still in VLAN 20. That's what we did in the whole previous exercise, right? You guys follow that, right? So now we're in 2 separate VLANs. So now we're going router, baby. I'm going to take my console cable out of the switch. Ooh. Oh, I just so thought of something that I wasn't planning on. So hang on, I'll tell you in just a sec. So I'm consoled into the router. Good. So let me talk to you real quick. I was like, why wasn't I going to do routing right then? Well, that's because I planned on having a whole nother skill on setting up trunk connections, like, inter switch trunks and all that kind of stuff. Well, do you guys remember with the router on a stick, right here, when we're setting up a router on a stick, Heinrich Rudolph, it hurts. So when we're setting up a router on a stick, we're on this guy right here, he is going to get a trunk interface. Right? Trunk straight into that switch. And that's where we get the tag ports and all that. So we're going to set this guy up with this configuration, but we're going to have to go in here and set up a trunk. And I was going to save trunks until we got over here to this whole thing, but that's fine. You guys will totally be able to hang. It's a single command. You'll get exactly what I mean. So let's do this. Let's go to my console port. There you go. Hit the enter guy, move the console cable over. So we're now sitting on router 01, right? Right there. So enable. Oh, hang on. Click in there. Enable. Cisco show IP interface brief. Good. Okay, so we are set up with the old configuration. So this is our Metro E connection. We're not going to touch that one. This is our internal connection. This was back when our office didn't have VLAN. So what I'm going to do is go into global configuration mode. I'm going to go into interface fast Ethernet 0/1. Following me so far? Good. And I'm actually going to remove the IP address. Now, how do you think you do that? How do you remove anything? If I want to remove the host name, it's no host name, right? So IP address, no IP space address. Sweet. So I'm going to do a show IP interface brief just to verify. Yep, it's gone now, right? It's not there. By the way, have I told you this? You can type do in front of any show command, and you can do it from whatever mode, so that way you don't have to exit out to privilege mode just to do a show command, right? So I'm in here now. I'm going to exit out because I don't want to be under fast Ethernet 0/1 anymore. I'm going to do fast interface fast Ethernet 0/1, but watch this, hang on, dot, hit the question mark. Look at that. 4,294,967,295 sub-interfaces that I could have. And I'm just going to say .10. Now, this doesn't have to match the VLAN number, but this is what I said earlier. By golly, why would you do that to yourself? So hang on. Before I go any further, I'm just going to do a show IP interface brief. Check it out. Look at that. For no additional cost, bam, I got a new interface on my router. Cool. So, okay, I'm going to do the steps actually out of order because I want you to see what happens. Watch this. I'm going to type in IP address, and I know you're like, out of order. What do you mean? Watch. 10.16.8.1, 255.255.255.0, right? Because that's, look up here, just, hang on, let me maybe screenshot that. The fast Ethernet 0/1.10, right there. That's what I had planned to put on that subinterface. That's the IP address, right? I'm just emphasizing. I know you guys are following. I just want to make sure. Watch what happens. It's like, whoa, hang on. Configuring IP routing on a LAN subinterface is only allowed if that subinterface is already configured as part of an IEEE 802.10, IEEE 802.1, 802.1q, or an ISL VLAN. What is ISL? That is when VLANs were invented. Like God is like, let there be light, let there be VLANs was his next statement. Like Cisco was like, we're ahead of you. We're in front of that whole thing, and we're going to create our own VLAN language, and we're going to call it ISL. So they did. So that was Cisco's proprietary trunking protocol. We don't use that ever. We use 802.1q. So I'm going to do encap. So by the way, it didn't take that command, right? Show IP interface brief. Nope, still no IP address because it's waiting for me to say encapsulation.1q VLAN 10. That's what tells this subinterface, hey, you're going to respond to packets coming in from VLAN 10. And now I can tell you what IP address you have. So I'll hit the up arrow and do a IP address 10.16.8.1. Enter. Now it took it. Oh, hang on. Let me hit the up arrow. Because now, because before then, think about that. Without the tag under there, they're always like, I don't know when I'm going to use this IP address. But now it does. It's like when I see a packet for VLAN 10 coming in, that's when I'm going to use this IP address. Now I'll let you assign it to the interface. So now, hang on, let's go back here. We've got this interface set up. Let's do this one. That'll be the routed interface for 10.16.10.0. So it's going to be the first IP address, .1. You don't have to do the first IP address, but most people do. Right? So let's bring that back up. I'm going to exit out of the subinterface, hit the up arrow there, a little further than I thought, and do subinterface fast0/1.20, enter, right? And now I'm going to do it in the right order. I mean, I guess we could do it just for sample. So I'm going to say this is going to be 10.1, and it's going to reject me one more time. It's like, no, not you. You've got to have your encapsulation set first. So I'll do that, encapsulation.q20, right? Good. And then there. How about that? Show IP interface brief. Yeah. Doesn't that make you feel kind of cool? Like, yeah, we're there. Okay. But we're not there. Not yet. So hang on, let's bring this guy up. He's still trying to ping 8.51, which doesn't even exist anymore. So I want to, hang on, can I just draw for a minute? I want to make sure you guys follow exactly what we just did. I know. Some of you are like, I know what we just did, but I just want to make sure everybody's following along. We've got two computers. This guy is my Apple computer. This is my me computer. I'll just put a happy face on it. So that's the one I'm drawing on right now. We just went in and set up a router, right? Plugged into this port. Oh, this just reminded me. We got to set that up as a trunk link, right? So that's the fast Ethernet 0/1. And we just created those two sub interfaces just like this. So this guy now is 10.8. No, he's not. He's 10.16.8.50 is my computer. And he's saying my default gateway is 10.16.8.1. I'll put DG right there. So that's what it's got up here. So this guy right here is like, hey, I'm 10.16.10.50. Why? Because we did that. Remember we went over there and I configured it. So it's set up with that right IP address. It's in VLAN 20. So this guy's in VLAN 10. Whoa. This guy's in VLAN 20. Whoa. Right? Normally those two can't talk, but now since he's using the 10.1 as his, so here's the theory: is this guy will be able to go through the router and ping this guy, and this guy will be able to go through the router and ping back to that guy. Does that help? I just want to make sure that everybody's good, because we still have to set up that trunk. So hang on. Let's go over here. I'm going to move my console cable back over to the switch. And once we have a fully routed network, it gets so easy. We don't have to use the console cable anymore. So we'll come back here. Yeah, I clear off all my chicken scratch. Hit the enter key a couple times. There we go. I'm on the switch. There we go. I'm going to do a show running configuration interface fast Ethernet 0/1. Let's just see what it is right now. So only thing under that is spanning tree port fast, which allows the interface to come up really quick, right? I got a cool command for you. You ready for this? Look at this one. It is show interface fast Ethernet 0/1, and I'm going to type in switch port. Think of this command, before I show you the output, think of that command, with a little switchboard at the end, as like your VLAN status report. It's like military. Sir, wait a sec, they don't, never mind. Here we go. Switchboard, I hit the enter key, and I see all the information about the VLAN. I know, by the way, there's so many military service members. I never did service myself, but so many military service members that take this. One of them, so anyway, I forgive me. So we've got Switchport is enabled, but look at this. Administrative mode, dynamic auto. That's the mode I told you is dangerous. You don't want that. That's a security nightmare. Like step one on every security auditor's checklist is like, do they have trunking dynamic mode or essentially dynamic mode on these switches? Because you can go around just about any security if you do. And it's saying, oh, okay, that's what I'm set up for administratively, but I'm operating as just a straight up static access port. So it figured out I'm not connected to another switch, so I'm not going to be a trunk. And I'm going to be like, no, here's what's up. I'm going in to fast Ethernet 0/1, and I'm going to say you're not switchport mode dynamic. That's not what you are. You're switchport mode trunk, but I have a feeling. Hang on. Oh, good. So if you've got a really old switch, I just want to let you know, it will ask you to type another command before you do that. It's switchport trunk encapsulation, and you get to choose ISL or .1Q. That's why it's good that you saw that ISL. Older switches, Cisco discontinued their proprietary trunking protocol a long time ago. But in newer switches, they don't give you the option. But if you got an older switch, it'll give you an error message. It'll be like, hey, you got to pick your encapsulation type first. So now watch this. I'm going to go back and do that same show command, right? Show interfaces fast Ethernet 0/1 switchport. Look at it now. Administrative mode, meaning how am I configured? I'm a trunk. I'm operating. I'm a trunk. Like there's no negotiation about it. I love it. So .1Q is our trunking protocol. So that's good, right? So I'm thinking, guys, I'm thinking we're ready. Like, so here's what I want to do. This PC, the one I'm talking to you on right now, is in VLAN 10. Let's go on that PC and ping the router first. Make sure that's good, because if that doesn't work, we're not getting anywhere. And then from there, we'll do a trace route and see the traffic actually go through the router and see if it hits the Apple. Cool? So, hang on, let's get our command prompt back up. So my IP config is 10.16.8.51, and my default gate was there. So let's see if I can ping it. So ping, that'll tell a lot, by the way. If I can't ping that guy, I can. Woo! Matter of fact, let's just tell it to it for fun. 8.1. Oh, look at that. So that validates, yes, you are on the router. Good. Okay. So I'll do CLS, clear screen. And I'm going to ping, tracing. Trace RT. That's what you do on Windows. Trace route. What that does, if you haven't seen that before, is it actually shows you everything in the path along the way of the device. So we should see router, device. Router, Apple laptop, right? So I'm going to do trace route 10.16.10.50. That's the Apple device. So it's saying, hey, tracing route. Look at that. It figured out what its name is. MacBook Pro 4E2A. And I'll hit the enter key. And it's saying, I went through the router 10.16.8.1 and I landed on MacBook Pro 4E2A, which I'm guessing is the last four of its MAC address. But either way. Yeah, that's it. So 2 videos, you've now seen the configuration of VLANs and the configuration of a full router on a set. I mean, hang on. Like, you guys could set up a full-on VLAN routed network. Hang on, look at this. You now have the knowledge. You have the power that you could walk in to an organization, a small business, right? And you can actually set up all their VLANs. You could put all their servers, their computers, their wireless access points. And I know, there's more knowledge that of course. But you could set all that up with all the VLANs. You could verify it, the show VLAN, show interface switch port, right? You could verify that everything's working. You can set up a router on a stick, and all you got left is you just set up the internet connection, do a little NAT. I'm going to show you how to do that. Don't worry. And you've set up a network. I mean, Yeah. Well, at this point, if you're not thrilled about VLANs and inter VLAN routing, I would check your pulse. We have now seen how to set up a router on a stick to allow inter VLAN traffic to pass. I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.